Hey folks, welcome back. I think today I'm going to see if I can follow through with this approach I'm using with the weapons here on the aircraft and see if I can get a weapon to attach and then detach. And so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a action, input action here. We'll just copy this one. We'll call it come on. Weapon fire. Where am I keeping the contexts here? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to set that up in here. And for now, I'll just make this the right mouse button. There we go. Right mouse button. And I'm going to come set that up in the aircraft class. Just copy this guy. And I'm going to go ahead and add something in here that's just going to be temporary. And it's going to be a subclass. Oops. Come on now. And this is going to be a weapon. So it's going to be a subclass of a Aspen projectile, I think. Yeah. And we'll just call this weapon to spawn class. So this is just going to be a temporary place where I'll put the blueprint that I want to spawn. So I'm going to go ahead and compile this real quick. Okay, compile finished. So let me take a look at my aircraft here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to set the input on my base class that I've got here. So it'll just apply to all of them. So let's come down, and there it is. My weapon fire action is set, and then you can see the weapon to spawn classes here, but I'm actually going to set that on back on the F-16's blueprint. So weapon to spawn is going to be my AIM-120, which is actually, I need to go rename that because it's not really an AIM-120. So let's do that real quick. This is actually a Mark 82. Whoa. soft coding just bit me, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna have to redo all of that. I should have known better. Okay, I'll get that started back up. Okay, my editor's relaunched. Let me see how much this I have to redo. It actually created a... Let's see. Input, actions. Did it save? Oh, it did. Okay, weapon fire. Take a look at my context to make sure it's still good. Yep, it's still good. Okay, and then double check here. And there we go. Okay. And let's just take a quick look at this to make sure it's got the right. Yep, it's got the right model. Everything looks good. So now I'm gonna have to write a good bit of code in here. So I'm gonna add some functions here. One is gonna be initialize loadout. And the idea is that this function will eventually have a parameter. I'll create some class called, Aspen loadout, and it'll have all the details of what weapons should go where, and it'll pass in as a parameter. For right now, I'm just going to hard code a bunch of stuff in there, and then let's see, right here, let's do void weapon fire started or triggered. Actually, we probably want to do started. Okay, that looks good. So generate that definition, and we'll generate this weapon fire started as well. And we'll come up to our input and hook that up. There we go. Okay, initialize loadout. We're going to call this, actually, we'll call this in the begin play after everything else happens. And I'm going to copy this because we're going to do something very similar that we did with the lights. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get every component that's a UAspen hardpoint component. And once I have them, I'm going to loop through them just like I did with the lights. So, and we're going to say if hardpoint, actually, I wonder if I do the newer, no. I don't remember the syntax for the newer one. I forget it. What in the world? Yeah. My IntelliSense doesn't want to work. I believe there's a name. Yeah, hardpoint name. There we go. Finally. So, if it's hardpoint 1, what we really need to do is call a server method. We need to call a server RPC to spawn this weapon. So, this is our server RPC. And I'm going to make a local method for it too. So we'll just have load weapon. There we go. Alright, so let's generate these. Okay, so we call load weapon. And here we're going to spawn an actor. It's been too long since I've done this. I don't remember. Do I do it off the world? Yep, there we go. Spawn actor. Class is going to be our weapon to spawn class. Location is going to be our hardpoints location. What am I doing? And we need a rotator, or actually we can just do spawn parameters. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't like that. Let's do okay, let's see, we got class, location, rotation, spawn params. Oh, come on. This is what happens when you go so long between okay, let me steal this. Oops, hang on. Just do this. Okay, that works. So that should spawn the weapon. Okay, and that should take care of the server RPC. So actually, we don't even need an if here, I don't think, because actually, I guess we do. I'll leave it. I've got that set to Aspen projectile, so let's cast this, I guess. Actually, we can just cast it up here in the if. I kind of hate making if statements so big, but there we go. Now it's casted, we attach it. Let me stop and relaunch and see. I need to, did I put that in my begin play? I think I did. Yeah. Let's see what happens when I debug this. Probably going to be ugly. And I forget, functions are not allowed to take a T-object pointer. For whatever reason, they still have to take the old school. Still have to take the old school type. There we go. Okay. I guess let me just straight up launch this thing and see what happens. Oh, I saw it there for a second. I think. Let me set a breakpoint. Actually, let me do one thing real quick. So we need to come on. Probably have physics turned on. Let's see here. Okay. Problem is, I don't want gravity. Well, I don't want this thing to move at all. Maybe turn off auto activate. Okay, simulate physics is turned off. Okay. Okay, there we go. It's not in the right spot, but it did spawn. And now actually, let me handle the fire real quick. do actually the same exact thing. So let me go copy that code I wrote. So I'm going to loop through the hard points. If the hard point equals hard point 1, we are going to get the attached actor. Actually, that's already an Aspen projectile. And I suspect this isn't going to work because of the accessibility. Let me look at what I got here. Yeah, oh no, that's public. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna have to make a function in my projectile class actually to get the projectile movement component. Okay, so now I have that function back in my aircraft. We want to activate. That may be all I need to do actually, so let's see. I'll try live coding again just because why not? Let me save everything before it crashes again. Alright, we'll give that a minute. Okay, so compile finished. Okay, now what happens if I click the right mouse button? Yeah, there we go. So it seems like this approach is going to work. I have some work to do around the classes here. I don't want... I guess what I need is... I need to leave projectile alone because I use that in the tank, and it's not going to make sense to put aircraft specific stuff in it. So I'm going to end up probably having to create another projectile class just for aircraft. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a class called aircraft attachment. Not sure I like that name, but it'll have to do for now. So we have aircraft attachment. And let's see. We will create a class from that. Whoops. Called aircraft projectile, which will obviously inherit from, oh, and I did not name that right. Good grief. Come on. It'd be faster just to delete them and recreate them. Aspen aircraft attachment, and inherit from actor, not in the components folder. There we go. Okay, Aspen aircraft attachment. Oops. And then Aspen aircraft projectile. There we go. So now this is inheriting from attachment. And it's really going to have everything that the projectile component has in it, so I'm going to copy that entire class basically. So let's go to projectile here. Yeah, we need to inherit from ability system interface as well, because this is all going to use the ability system. So Okay, so we're inheriting. So let's grab the ability system component and let's get all this stuff. And let's get rid of the tick. I'll get rid of the sphere for now. And we're also going to create a view skeletal mesh component. I'm going to do some sort of either or thing here because it'll have a static mesh or it'll have a skeletal mesh. We'll never have both. Need to forward declare everything. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to grab that inline function I made. Okay. Don't need the tick. Is there anything else I need from this guy? Yes. I'm not actually using this radial force component yet on anything, but I know that I will, so I'm gonna go ahead and include it here. We got our ability system, static mesh. We need to set up a skeletal mesh, so I'll just copy this. Go. And now the hardpoint component. This can be a Aspen aircraft projectile. Actually, check that. Attachment. There we go. So now we've refactored for aircraft attachment. And if we go back to our class, that temporary code I set up right here. And that is definitely going to break live coding, so I'm going to stop instead of trying to recompile with live coding. And I'll relaunch everything. And we'll give that a minute to finish. Oh, it looks like I missed a couple spots. Let's see here. Yep. There we go, that fixes that one up. Let's take a look here. Yep. And that fixes that one up. Alright, give that another shot. Okay, so now that my editor's launched, I need to go in to the weapon I created and reparent it. I actually need to get rid of this AIM-120. That's nonsense. This guy is currently parented to Aspen Projectile, so I need to reparent to Aspen Aircraft Projectile, and that probably reset the auto activate property on the projectile movement component. No, it didn't. Nice. Okay, so let's save that, and then let's go look at the F-16 and make sure the property is still set correctly for the class. And it is. So let's go ahead and run. And the weapon shows up. Still not in the correct place, but that's okay for now. And if I right click, yeah. That is absolutely perfect, except for the wrong location. I'm putting it on the wrong pylon anyway. So let's actually take a look at that real quick. Maybe I should be using the socket instead of the location of the component. I do need to move. Hardpoint 1 is going to be, I'm going to move it to right here for now. See what that does. Yeah, I don't know why it thinks the component is way the hell over there when I've clearly got it put right on the pylon. So maybe I should use the socket name. What happens when I move around? Yeah, I had a hunch that would happen too. Okay, so let's do this. Let's associate this guy. Let's actually just change this. No. Let's add a new property. And do that. And then when I spawn the weapon, Let's just try that for now. I'll have to think about how I'm going to keep it attached to the aircraft. There's probably a good built-in way for me to do that in the API. I'll have to dig and find it. Otherwise, I'd have to put in the tick function and update the location every frame. I'm guessing I may be able to just use this as like metadata, get rid of this attached actor altogether, and just attach it directly to the socket. I'll have to. Yeah, no, you can definitely do that because that's how I'm handling the weapon on the character. So how do I do that? Nothing. I don't know how I'm attaching it to the socket when I spawn the weapon. I'll have to dig into that a little bit, but that should work. There should be a way for me to attach it to the socket. Okay, so now hardpoint 1, socket name, and I forget the name of that socket, so let me. RT underscore pylon underscore O2. RT underscore pylon underscore O2. We're still calling this hardpoint 1. And no attached actor. Allowed attachments. My allowed attachments. I need to fix it. attachments. Come on. There we go. Let me recompile again. Okay, recompile finished. So now let me look at that hard point again. Hardpoint 1 RT underscore pylon underscore 02 and allowed actors now has the mark 82, which is exactly what I want. Let's see what happens now. Why are you still out there? The mesh itself must be kind of off center. That's gonna be a pain to fix probably because I don't. What's the transform on this guy? Just got scale. It's the only weapon we've got here with a static mesh. Huh. Well, I'm gonna have to deal with that another time because I'm already at an hour and I don't wanna go past an hour if I can help it. So what I have right now is obviously my approach is gonna work. I can see that when I run. I can spawn the weapon, I can drop it. That's exactly what I want. So I need to figure out why it's spawning not in the correct place. Then I need to determine how to attach it so that it moves with the aircraft, which should be easy. I can just attach it to the socket, and then I need to figure out why it's in that weird location, and at the same time I can probably, maybe I can figure out what's causing the afterburner. Afterburner's doing the same thing, right? If I increase my throttle, and look around, there's the afterburner, and it's not attached, and it's not in the correct place as well. So maybe this is, maybe this will be the same thing. So that would be helpful. If it is, I can fix both at the same time. So I'll look at that a little bit, and I'll make sure when I actually fix it, I do it in the next video, but I'll poke around, figure out how I want to attach it, the best way to attach it. So until then, looks like this approach is going to work. So that's the way I'm going to go with the hardpoint component that defines what weapons can go where, and I'm gonna have to build some very complex UI that I'm not looking forward to, that when you choose the F-16 allows you to build a loadout, and then like I said, once you've built that loadout and you click this spawn button, it needs to somehow pass that loadout to the spawned F-16 and have it initialized. So that'll get rid of all that crazy hard coding I've done just to test the theory. So I guess I'll start thinking about that. This UI, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'll figure it out. Another thing I have to figure out is there's certain weapons that you can have more than one of on a pylon, right? Those Mark 82s, I think you can have 3 per pylon. So I need to figure out how to handle that situation and properly spawn them in the correct location when that happens. So anyway, I'll be looking into that. And so until the next video, take care.